a theme, touchstone to recognize a standard by which we're recognized. Okay, we know who we are. There's a standard. We talk about the standard all the time. It's not just the way we perform on Sunday, it's how we go about our life on and off the field. We got to take advantage of every opportunity. Seize everything, man. Carpe omnia.
It's time for the 2023 season and time for the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones, along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. Cowboys and the Giants, Sunday Night Football. It doesn't get much better than this. There's a lot of excitement in the air as you head to New York this weekend.
Definitely. I mean, you want to start off with a division opponent. Seems like it happens every year now. So going to New York, Sunday Night Football, so what a great start.
Well, 12th time in history the Cowboys have played the Giants in a season opener. Let's talk about mindset of this team. I know they're itching to play a regular season game, and you talk about the theme for the season, Carpe Omnia, seizing everything this season. And it sounds like when hearing the players talk, it really resonated with the team, what you told them on Wednesday.
Yeah, my thought on the theme, it needs to fit your team. I mean, that's really why I think you wait as long as we do to make sure we feel like it fits this group of men. I think what we've accomplished and what we've been through the last couple years, I feel this is the next step of what we need to do. And just like anything, the theme has some sub components to it, and it just gives you the chance to have a touch tone to just really, remind everybody the standard and why we're all in this thing. And but I go back to the first part of your question. We're real excited to play a game, because we haven't lined up and competed yet this year. And that first win is always tough as long as I've been doing this. So, and now we're doing it on the road against a division opponent. So, our guys are anxious. We did the heavy lifting work on Thursday morning, to beat the heat. So a lot of quality work there. And, so Friday, Saturday, you got to just make sure you tighten things up, and we'll be ready to go Sunday night.
All right, you're going into your 4th season as Cowboys head coach. Dak Prescott going into his 8th season as the starting quarterback of this team. The big storyline of the offseason, the play calling on offense, you calling the plays, Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator. What's it all been like over the course of the last 6 months working so cllosely with Dak and getting ready for this?
Well, I have tremendous confidence in not only our approach, but really the result of how we've structured the new coaches and in particular the quarterback room. So I feel great about Dak and Cooper and Trey. So and that's a big part of it. That's I think everybody has a method of how you do it. This is the way I've always done it, and so far it's we feel like we've made some improvements, but end of the day, it's game time now. We need to go out and get a win.
Well, and going up against a Giants team, talking about their defense a little bit, and first-round draft picks up front, and Dexter Lawrence, and guys like Leonard Williams and Kayvon Thibodeau as well. What do you expect when you go up against a Giants team?
Well, number one, I mean, you're talking about one of the better D-line groups in the league, and I think when we talk about division games, I think we'll be having a similar conversation, each week, and and that's for our D-line too. So that's the nature of this division, and so with that, it's you want to go into there, especially week one, and you have the unscouted looks and so forth. But those guys play the game the right way. They're very talented, and I really felt at the end of last season, particularly from our second game on, and you watch your playoff games, I thought they were playing at an extremely high level.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Up next, guess what, Coach? David Moore is back for another season. He may be week to week, but he is back for the first week of the Mike McCarthy Show when we come back in just a moment.
Where I'm at, I just want to keep on the streak, you know what I mean? Understand this is a good team, it's a different team. Almost every other couple years that we play them with the coaching changes they've had, but understanding what they did last year under Dayball with their offense, the progression, the defense, the players that they've added. It's a good team. Going to give them respect and just do what I've done every time playing these guys, prepare my ass off going into this game and just be ready for whatever they have. But they do have my respect, and it's always fun playing New York and definitely playing them up at their place. Probably the first time I've played them this early at their place, so excited for that, excited for the crowd. I'm just excited to be back in the game.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues now here inside the Globe Life studios at the Star. Bill Jones, joined for another season by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News. Still sportsdaydfw.com.
I still wonder why you sound so surprised when you say it that way every year that I actually am back.
You think I was surprised? You should have seen Mike McCarthy when I told him last segment that David Moore is back for another season.
I think there's probably another emotion that overrode surprise, but sure, let's go with that.
All right, the expectations for this team here in 2023, they seem to be rather high.
I would argue they should be high. You know, this team is coming off consecutive 12-5 seasons. You look around the league, there is only one team in the league that has won more games than Dallas over the last 2 regular seasons. That's Kansas City. So Dallas should be in the conversation. There are fewer, going into the season, I would also argue there are fewer top shelf teams in the NFC than there are the AFC. And I think by any objective measure, you look at the NFC, it's Dallas, Philadelphia, and San Francisco, ordered to be determined, and those teams are in the conversation. And again, expectations should be built after you go back-to-back in 12-5 seasons when your nucleus is still in place, when you add 2 quality veterans in Brandon Cooks and Stephen Gilmore, when you've shown you're a good draft and developed team and the young players are coming up and contributing. This team is building towards something. But as we all know, they still need to break through that divisional round in the postseason. And that's when people, I think, are going to buy in. But this is a very, very good team.
And one of the reasons why expectations are high, it is this defense, bordering on an elite defense. I remember you were asking Dan Quinn in training camp, who, of course, he was the defensive coordinator of the Legion of Boom defense. He kind of liked the sound of Legion of Doom defense.
Doom, he did like that one. That plays off the Doomsday from an earlier era here. But that's the other thing. Now, this is Dan Quinn's third year as defensive coordinator. A lot of the key players there going into their third season or more here. They've built something here. I would argue they've led the league in turnovers forced for 2 consecutive years. They're the first team to do that in 40-plus years, going back to Pittsburgh in the early 70s. You know, I think the area they need to, they leaked a little bit at the end of last year on big plays. Big plays kind of bit them a little bit when they had some injuries in the secondary. But run defense is going to be it. I think they were in the top 3 last year of opponent rush attempts against them. That's how teams are going to attack the Dallas defense. If they can hold up to the run, then yeah, I think they can be in that elite group and talk about the Legion of Doom, about some of those Baltimore defenses that came, Pittsburgh, the Steel Curtain, and again, Doomsday here.
All right, David Moore, we appreciate it. Up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, we check in with Zach Martin.
Fundamentally, communication, I feel like this is the best team, best defense I've ever been on, and I've been grateful to be on some pretty good defenses since Penn State, and then coming here. Just adding him was like that, just extra boost your confidence to the back end. Communication, having a solid guy next to Trey. You know, I'm predicting a lot of good things from these guys this year. You know, and people can't always go away from Diggs. Now they got faced in music with both of them. And, you know, I'm kind of happy to got those guys because, you know, to see their locker in and focus every day, Diggs challenging me every week. It's going to be a really exciting year.
This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys and the Giants on Sunday night, and welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. A chance now to check in with the Cowboys' 9-time Pro Bowl right guard. That would be Zach Martin, going into his 10th season in the National Football League.
Yeah, it's always fun to open up a division rival. It's just, adds a little bit more than you already can for that week 1 matchup. And, they've got a good football team, playoff team last year, got a lot of guys coming back. It's going to be a great matchup for us. Yeah, they've got some really, really good defensive linemen. I mean, when you watch the tape, Dexter Lawrence jumps off, Leonard Williams jumps off the film, Thibodeau 5 jumps off the film. So they've definitely invested into that front 7, and it's going to be a big test for us up front. Man, we just got to keep attacking them. Just keep going after them. They're big, thick, strong guys. So just put the pedal down and keep going after them. When I think of leadership, the first thing I think of is someone who leads by example. So, I've always thought you've got to show you can do it before you start talking. So we've got a bunch of great leaders on this team, a bunch of good veterans that I think walk the walk, and then we can talk the talk.
So great to have Zach Martin back in the fold, and it's great to have Will McClay for another season. Look here, Carpe Omnia. It is the team theme. And let's take a look at these Giants and what they added offensively. Some weapons for Daniel Jones, starting with the tight end, Darren Waller.
Absolutely. Darren Waller signed as a free agent. Former college wide receiver, moved to tight end, line him up all over the place. You'll see him here. They're in this 3-by-1 formation. He's outside, singled up. You're going to see him run a slant, but with the slant, he's also hard to tackle after the catch. All right, you'll see him here. Nice push off, slant, run after catch.
All right, they'll go to him a lot. And another guy they added from the Indianapolis Colts, and that would be Paris Campbell, former second-round draft pick out of Ohio State.
Theme here is speed on all the guys we're talking about. He was a 4.30 coming out, a lot of run after catch stuff, gadget stuff. So I think they'll incorporate it that way. We'll take a look at him here with Indy, how they used him. All right, they're going to run a little screen here. They're going to get bodies out in front of him. And then you see the speed and the run after catch, something we have to be prepared for.
Paris Campbell had 63 catches last year for the Colts. They added a guy in the draft with some speed as well, and that would be Jalen Hyatt, their 3rd-round pick out of Tennessee.
Yeah, again, speed, 4.30. Record books in college. All right, we're going to see him here. He's going to go in motion, 3-by-1. They're going to threaten the safety, and we're going to see the speed here put air into the defense, and then a nice throw, and he tracks the ball down for a deep touchdown in the preseason.
Just like he did at Tennessee, catching passes from Hendon Hooker. He had 15 touchdown catches last year. And then you've got a holdover in Darius Slayton.
Going back to speed, another 4.30 guy lined up on the outside. Figure with their run game, mobile quarterback, they're going to see some single high, so they want all the speed to go outside. Matchup. Here he is matched up outside. All he's going to do is run a vertical go route right here. And the old saying is, if I'm even, I'm leaving. Right there, he's leaving. Deep shot. We've got to prepare for the deep shot throws and explosive plays.
All right, just an idea of what to look for on Sunday night from the Giants on offense. Our thanks to Will McClay, and the coach rejoins us when the Mike McCarthy Show continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones rejoined by the head coach. Let's take a look at this Giants offense a little bit, of course, with Daniel Jones at quarterback, Saquon Barkley, the running back, 4th in the league in rushing last year, and that's one of the staples of this team, isn't it?
No doubt, and I think when you just look at the reputation of their offense last year and really how people played us last year, they're 4th in the league in rushing. We were 3rd in the league of run attempts against our defense, so I think that tells you we're a major focal point, I think, for both their offense and our defense is, going into this game without a doubt.
Yeah, and they've made some additions in the offseason. Of course, the big tight end and Darren Waller, a rookie draft pick, adding speed at the wide receiver position with Jalen Hyatt and the veteran free agent Paris Campbell as well. As far as Waller in particular and defending a tight end who has the receiving ability, big play ability as he does, what goes into that for you defensively?
I think you really have already stated it. They've added 2, legitimate playmakers. So, and it's really how are they going to utilize them? That's really been our projection of how we're going into this game. But yes, proven veterans, speed, athletic ability, big target. But how they're going to utilize them. how they're going to move those guys for matchups and so forth. That's something that we spent a little extra time on.
You know, for those of us who get to watch training camp practices, it is just a joy to watch Micah Parsons out on that field. And
unless you're calling the offensive play.
exactly. And I wouldn't imagine Dak and the play caller on offense are happy to go up against someone else because he is so disruptive. This guy, he looks like he is ready to have a huge season.
I think he's clearly taken a step. I mean, if you just look at the practice at training camp this year, compared to the last 2 years, it's definitely a different level. I mean, he's so disruptive, always has been, and he just creates so many opportunities for others around him. But, not only is, his disruption is, looks like it could definitely lead to more productivity because, I thought he had a tremendous training camp.
Finally, in this segment, a couple of big acquisitions for you, both on offense and defense. Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore at cornerback. Both those guys bring so much not only on the field but to that locker room, right?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, because when you have new people, particularly veterans, come from another program, so you've competed against them, you know what they bring to the table on the football field. But so that has been excellent. It's everything we thought when we signed those guys. But what they've brought to the locker room, their veteran leadership, the way they've connected with the other players, the way they help the younger players, which I think is very important. They've done an incredible job.
All right. We have more of the Mike McCarthy Show still to come. We take a look at one of the key rookies that could factor into Sunday night's game in New York.
Yeah, no, I mean, division games, as we all know, is so important in this league. That's the tell of a lot. But the fact that it's week one, you want to get off to a fast start, really to be able to get that ball rolling.
We can do as much as we want. We got to go out there and prove it. We got the guys to do it. We got great guys that can cover. And, I think, we just got to go out there and do it. We can't talk about it, and I'm looking forward to it.
This segment was brought to you by blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
Yeah, just focusing on the job at hand. You don't really look at any of the media stuff. I know that's not great for you guys, but for me, I got to focus on my job and limit all the distractions. So what that is just turning off the phone and all the notifications and just going out and doing my job in practice, making sure it's as realistic to a game as it can be, and then just not even letting that creep into the mind.
Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, and the Cowboys with a very nice rookie class this year, and a guy who was signed late in the summer could factor in big on Sunday night against the Giants. That would be your place kicker, Brandon Aubrey. And what a great story Brandon is, as of course he did not play high school football. He was a soccer player at Notre Dame, first-round draft pick, Major League Soccer, and 2 years in the USFL, very successful 2 years. What is it about Brandon Aubrey's makeup that you really like?
Well, I think like anything, you always start with the talent evaluation. I mean, you're talking about a young man that has an incredible leg. You just see that on his kickoffs, but his ability to control the football has been very, very impressive since, we got to training camp and really got into, some semi-live reps. So I've been very impressed with that. But, I think that, especially when you talk about specialist quarterbacks, when you watch him work every day, extremely consistent. I think his connection, with the whole battery of guys together, watching them grow, and John Fossil and Stu do an incredible job, and just the close knit of how those guys interact and work. I've been very, very impressed on how it's all come together throughout training camp. So, I think Brandon's off to has an incredible opportunity, obviously, but real excited about his future.
Well, and part of an impressive rookie class that we've seen in the preseason. Coach, good luck on Sunday night against those Giants, and we appreciate all of you joining us here for the first edition of the Mike McCarthy Show for the new season. We will see you again next week when the New York Jets come to town.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.